Hey everybody, Miss T here.
And Miss Taylor.
And we're here this week with your character education to talk about anger and stress management. So we always start our lessons with 2 questions just to give you guys an idea of what we're going to be talking about. And you can talk these over in the class or you can talk these over with your family. It's going to be one of those things that is for home and for school. So the first question, do you know a healthy way to deal with feeling angry? Everybody feels angry. Do you know a healthy way to be able to deal with it? Second question is, can you feel anger in your body? So you almost know when it's coming. So can you feel that anger in your body?
So what's important about your body and anger is for you little guys, you're going to be able to feel it, you know, from like, well, I'm guess second and below. Second grade, you guys really want to pay attention to your hands may feel hot, your stomach may feel upset, maybe your brain starts to hurt. And that's just letting you know that it's coming or it's already there. Now for you olders, you could really start thinking about how can I use that as a tool? How can I have that in my toolbox of helping me through this situation? So if you're a little older, you know, you may start feeling your stomach and you're like, all right, I need to walk away from this conversation. Or maybe your hands are getting sweaty or they're tensing up. You're like, okay, I need to walk away from this situation. So you may be familiar with the debugging steps, is using those first couple steps, the ignore, the move away, to get yourself out of there so you're not using unhealthy ways to deal with anger. Because we talk about, is it okay to feel angry? Absolutely. You can't get away from it. If all of us could stand here and say, I'm never going to be angry again, is that going to happen? No. But could I stand here and say, I'm never going to kick or push someone again when I'm angry?
I'm not going to allow my anger to be taken out maybe or treat other people poorly.
So that's totally possible.
Yep.
You definitely can sit here and say, I'm done with that way. I'm done with, you know, hurting people because I'm hurting. I'm done, whether that's physically or emotionally, you know. Those are things we can control. We can't control never being angry again. Whether something really big in your life happens and it's something super serious, or you just stub your toe and that makes me angry.
I know for myself, sometimes when I start to feel angry, I can feel my ears get really hot and I almost get where my head feels tight and it kind of like moves up into the top of my head and I'm like, okay, I need to take and my heart starts to beat really quickly. I'm like, I need to take some deep breaths. I need to calm myself down.
Yeah, and if you really listen to your body, everyone's different. So, like, a little weird thing about me is this finger, and it's always this finger on this hand, gets a shooting pain through it.
So weird.
So, there may be something special to you that can really help you navigate this feeling, because anger is a pretty serious, strong feeling.
But it's worse if we hold it inside and we close it like a book, right? So if we're angry either at a situation, you know, we always say we're never mad at a person. We are upset about something that happened. I'm angry about something that happened, right? So how do I deal with that something that happened rather than taking it out on the other person? So what are some things that make you mad or make you angry? I mean, some things that make me mad or angry is, you know, when I lose something that I need right now, if I need to leave and I've lost my keys or I've lost a book that I'm supposed to have, or maybe when I'm in school, my teacher asks me for homework and I get mad because I think, oh my gosh, I left that on the kitchen table or, you know, whatever it is. So that instant mad or angry.
And, you know, like I said, like about your body is that different things make different people angry. So maybe if the word constructive criticism, so that is a new word that we can learn, is when someone tells you how to do something a little bit better. So maybe Trienne takes constructive criticism really well and she's like, you're right, I can do that better, I can do that, you know, I can be better at this. But if someone gives me that, maybe I'm like, oh, do they think I'm doing bad? Oh, how I need to be better, you know. So there's always something different people are going to be angry about. So it could be something really big or something little. So just because it doesn't make you angry doesn't mean it's going to make someone else angry.
And if we are angry, because everybody gets it and it's okay, how do we do that in a safe, healthy way? How do we share that we're angry? How do we work through being angry and not hold it in and let it kind of build and get worse? I think that that's the thing that makes people feel the most uncomfortable sometimes, is if they don't get the chance to talk about it. So we've got a list of things that you guys can do when you start to feel angry to get that energy out, because that's really what needs to happen. If I'm angry or mad, I gotta get some energy out of my body.
Yeah, so that's the first thing you want to do. I think if you want to put anger into steps, is first you need to get it out and then talk about it. You know, some people just try to talk about it right away, and for some people that may work, but most people I've noticed is that if you talk about it in the moment, you're just going to start another fight, or someone's going to say something and feelings are going to get hurt.
And again, so everybody's different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's releasing that energy first. And maybe if you are a talker, but you're in an argument with someone that's not a talker, talk to someone else about it. Be like, Miss T made me really mad because she did this and this and this, and now she's off doing something, trying to release her anger, and I just want to talk about it. So it just, however it works for you, is getting out that anger so you can have a constructive, good conversation.
So here's a list of some healthy ways that you can get some of that energy or that anger out without affecting, hurting another person, right? Because it's never okay to yell at someone else. It's never okay to call names. It just doesn't feel good. And we've talked so many times about treat other people the way you want to be treated, that golden rule. The last thing I want is to be yelled at, right? Or to have that energy taken out on me. So here's our list. First thing that you're going to try to do, or a thing that you can try to do, is take a piece of paper and rip it up. I mean, that gets a little bit of energy out, right?
And for you olders, another thing you could do, if just ripping the paper, you're just like, what am I doing? You could write what makes you angry or what you're mad about. You know, maybe your dog did something. You're like, your dog did this. Just write dog on this sheet of paper and start ripping it. Or just maybe the sound may feel good. Another thing is pop bubble wrap. Maybe you have bubble wrap around your house or at school. And later on, we're going to talk about kind of our character check. Maybe that's something you could get or you could save because you know what works for you.
Right. Another thing that you can try to do is squish some Play-Doh. So again, getting that energy out and like making different shapes with that Play-Doh.
And these few things are kind of good if you find yourself being the person that may want to hit, whether it's a person or hit a thing. These things to do with your hand is going to help you release that sensation, you know, that feeling, you know. So instead of me punching Miss T's arm, I'm just pushing the Play-Doh, or I'm ripping the paper,
right?
Or I'm popping the bubble wrap. So it's getting those hands busy if that's something you lean towards more so. So wrap your arms around yourself and just squeeze. So this, you're almost kind of taking it out on yourself. Even when I'm not mad, that feels good. This one you're kind of taking it out on yourself, you know, safely. You know, if you find yourself, you're the person that maybe wants to hurt yourself when you're angry, instead of, you know, maybe punching yourself or whatever you tend to do, just giving yourself a good hug,
good squeeze,
and getting that sensation out of you.
Next thing that you can do is write a letter to someone. You can either write a letter honestly to yourself. You could write a letter to the person that is in the situation with you that makes you angry or makes you mad. Just getting some of that, almost journaling out.
Getting it out on paper, kind of like the ripping the paper, you know. So doing wall push-ups is what we have, but that could be any exercise. That could be running, that could be push-ups, sit-ups, planks, anything like that. And another physical thing to do to release that.
And again, just getting any sort of energy out. So you could also write down what's bothering you and rip that piece up. Miss Taylor mentioned that. Or squeeze a stress ball. Okay.
Yep, talk about it. So, like I said, if you're in an argument or with someone that doesn't like to talk, you could talk to someone. It's just always making sure you're careful that you're not bringing a third person into the argument and you're not talking negatively necessarily. You could just say, you know, we haven't talked about it, but I know she upset me. You know, so you want to watch that line of making sure you're not gossiping or bringing another person in. So, like, if I was talking to someone that's standing here and then they're like, oh, I don't like Trian either now. And you're like, well, like, this is, you know, constructively talking about someone.
And if you are the other friend on that and someone comes and talks to you about it, about what made them mad, it's okay for you to say, you know, you can talk to me about it, but how then are you going to go talk to that friend that you're having the situation with? That's really important.
Or if you don't feel comfortable telling them that, just talking, like, in your head, say, I'm just going to listen. I'm not going to let it affect the way I feel about that person. I'm not going to go take the information I was told to someone else. You're just being that body for them, because right now they really need to be talking to the person they're angry at, but they either found you first or they need to release that anger. So just making sure you're just being that listening ear. You know, you're not taking it personal. You're not running with it. You know, you're just being that body for them, really.
And here's another one. Again, we're getting energy out. So you're going to just take both palms of your hands and put them together and just push and squeeze, push against each other. You're going to feel that energy go through your arms. The other thing that you can do with your hand, and you can do this under your desk, and people won't even know that you're trying to calm down. But you just take deep breaths. So deep breath in as you go up one finger, deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And you do that all along your hand. And when you're doing it under the desk, people aren't even going to notice that you're trying to calm yourself down. It works for stress and it works for being mad.
And I think that would be a good situation, maybe if you're upset at an adult and you want to respect them, or it's a teacher and you can't pull them away right now to talk, say, hey, you know, that upset me, you know, because when you're angry at an adult, it's a little different. You know, anger looks different. You can't just go up to them and say, you made me really mad, Mom, because your mom's going to be like, why are you talking to me like that? You know, so that is a good, all these things are really good kind of for that adult where you need more time and you need to really be calm before you talk to them.
Okay, so the other thing that we talked about doing was making sure that you are understanding kind of how you're feeling. So really think to yourself, what is it that I'm upset about? What could I maybe do differently next time? What could I do differently this time rather than yelling, hitting, throwing, any of that kind of active pieces. So dealing with that anger is so much easier when you know what you're really upset about.
Yeah. So, and I think a big thing for us is understanding why we're really mad. You know, we may flip because Tran took my pen. Well, is all that anger really just because she took my pen? Or is it because she didn't play with me at recess and that hurt my feelings? Or is it because she didn't eat breakfast with me in the cafeteria, she sat with her other friend? It's really thinking, like, sitting yourself down and say, why am I mad at Miss T right now? Is it because she took my pen? Or is it because she hasn't been paying attention to me all day?
Something else happened. Yep, so just being honest. The next thing we want to think about is healthy ways to express yourself. Express the way that you are feeling. So we touched on this a little bit, like if you're talking to a teacher, talking to a parent, talking to a sibling, talking to a friend, you always want to be respectful. Treat people the way you want to be treated. I am going to listen more as a person who they might be upset with. If they come to me and they say, hey, Miss T, I'd really like to talk to you about this. This is the way I was feeling. Rather than coming and saying, hey, Miss T, we need to talk because I'm upset.
Yeah.
Like, always thinking about the way that you're starting the conversation.
And remembering that everyone's different. You know, sometimes if you and your friend are really close, you may be able to go up and be like, hey, like that made me mad. But like I said, is Mom going to appreciate that? No. Is Miss T or your teacher going to appreciate that? So it's really coming back to that communication in your relationship of whoever you're with.
And the last piece is take action. We talked a little bit about this already. You holding that inside is not going to help you get past it or over it or through it. Your anger is telling you something.
Yeah.
You're upset about something, and it's okay to feel that way. You just need to express it in a healthy way, in a way that's going to keep everybody safe.
Absolutely. All right, so today, our activity that we want you to work on is to come up with 4 or 5 steps that you think is going to work for you the next time you're angry. So the first step will probably typically be like, just take a deep breath.
Yep.
The second and third step may be something kind of like the debugging system, like move away, walk away, ignore. And then that third and fourth step is, what are you going to do? So first you want to express, you know, are you going to rip paper? Are you going to get the Play-Doh? Are you kind of more of exercise? You know, are you going to find someone you can trust to talk to? Come up with a couple things, and then your take action step will probably be 5. You know, how long am I going to wait to talk to that person? Do I need just 30 minutes or do I need a couple days? You know, so coming up with your own list that's special to you, because like we've said this whole time,
Everybody's
is
different.
the way I deal with anger may be very different with her than the way she deals with anger. So all your guys' lists are going to be unique and special to you.
The next thing that you're going to do is either in your class prior to this lesson or afterwards, you guys probably read a book about anger and stress management. So we've got just a couple examples of different books that you can read if you've not already done that.
So, and we have a couple of these recorded that you can ask your teacher about, but my day is ruined. Of course it's a big deal. I just don't like the sound of no and the bad seed.
The bad seed, that's a good one. So maybe your teacher has a different one that they'd like to share with you as well. Those are just some examples of ones that you guys can grab.
And then for your character check, we want you to take that list that you just created in the activity, and we want you to put it somewhere that is either a trigger for you that may be somewhere you get angry a lot. You know, maybe you always find yourself angry at school. So maybe ask your teacher if you can put it on your desk. Maybe you find yourself angry a lot at the dinner table with your family. Ask your mom, hey, can I put this by my seat somewhere so it's always in my mind? And then another thing is when you go through that list of how you express your anger, if it is something like physical, like Play-Doh or paper, get a couple of those things around and put it next to your list. So whenever you're angry and you read it and you're like, oh, I need to squish Play-Doh. Oh, where's the Play-Doh? And then you're running around the house and you're trying to find Play-Doh, and that's making you angry. And so the character check this week is just have that stuff ready, and so there's no reason that we should be unhealthy or looking for it. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
In an unhealthy way.
Awesome. And I think this would be a really good chance too for you guys to share within your class, because it might be great for your teacher to know, like, what is your best way to deal with those types of emotions, because they're going to come up, right?
Yep. And making sure you're talking to that adult or your teacher in your life. Like, hey, when I'm angry, is it cool if I go out in the hallway? When I'm angry, Mom, is it cool if I go in the backyard? And she may say, yes, you can go in the backyard, but you need to stay on the swing. Or your teacher say, yes, you can go out in the hall, but you need to sit on this X, this with tape. Something like that. So you're compromising.
Okay, so we'll go right back to those questions we asked you in the beginning, and you might have a different answer now, we hope. So your first question is, do you know a healthy way to deal with feeling angry? Everybody feels angry. Do you know a healthy way to deal with that or to control that? And then the second question is, can you feel anger in your body? So can you feel it before it starts to get to a point where you can't handle it? Do you know how to calm yourself down?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we really enjoyed getting the chance to talk to you guys today. We hope to see you soon for Character Ed lessons in person. Otherwise, you guys have a great day.
Bye.